So welcome to this week's episode of Small Willies and Big Egos.
Episode 6.
Yeah, podcast about nothing and everything.
Yep, I love that.
Fuck yes.
We're just sipping on the anxiety, as we were talking about earlier.
Yeah. And the anxiety that love gives us. All right, so Mal wants to kick us off this week's episode with a poem about love.
Yeah.
Do you want to give any context or you just want to go straight into it?
I can definitely give some context. This morning, when I spoke to you in the voice message, you asked me if I wanted to go to the gym. And I said no, that I was going in the morning, which I was doing. But there was a bigger reason that something was alive inside. It was very jarring. It's around a woman that I was seeing goes to the gym. And straight away, I felt a huge part of me come online, and I had really no idea. Well, I did have an idea how to navigate. I went and did a little bit of journaling, and it sort of released it slightly, and I thought, that should be enough. And then I thought, no, that's not how this works. I wanted to seek help because this is something that's alive, and presently I've been really good at just pushing it down. I'm actually an expert of pushing everything down. And so I reached out to you, and you asked me to dig deeper into why. And I'm quite happy to share that why piece, because I did write it on my phone.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And I said, why do I not want to see this person? I said, because there are still underlying feelings there. Why? Because I wasn't as honest as I could be. Why? Because I was scared. Why? Because she had capacity to hold me. Why? For fear of not being met in that capacity again. And then I sent that to you, and you said, beautiful, but you said, can we go a little bit deeper? And so I said, why? Because I don't know what true love is. Why? Because I never had love modeled to me. Why? Because I'm afraid to step back into that space. And it's really, really scary. It's scary because I didn't get love modeled to me. I got love modeled to me the best way my parents knew how. Films modeled love to me.
Yeah.
Disney films when I was young.
Yeah, tragedy and love.
Yeah. Loss and love, definitely. And then there's always the good. I feel like there's always the good ending. For me, love, what's dropping in for me right now is that I have to go through a lot and fight to get love. Love languages it was very alive for me today, and you'll notice that in the poem when I share the poem shortly. Yeah, so I've been running, Jacob, for probably 7 or 8 years now.
Yeah.
I've been running from women as soon as I get close.
Running from and then running to.
Running from and running to. It's something that I don't want to do anymore, and I'm smiling because I'm really leaning into my emotions today, and something that I've never understood how to do. I spoke to you just before about the fact that I would have gone to sleep, and on the previous episode I shared that I had a porn addiction, and so the first thing that I wanted to do today was masturbate, and that was an easy out for me because that's what I used to do when I was young. As soon as I was in trouble with dad or something was going on, I had some anxiety, I'd go and masturbate because that was a really, really easy escape for me, from everything that's going on.
Very common.
Very common. Even the fact that I was like, I'm not gonna do the podcast today. I'm just gonna stay at home and watch some shitty Netflix to it. All these things are just that I'm hyper aware that these are just escapes now. They're like the cat with the shiny ball analogy. They're just, I'll go to the next ball and I'll look, and I'll just keep getting these little hits of dopamine from all these things. But the thing that I know that I want to do is I want to find out what's going on.
Yeah.
Inside. So I spoke to the woman this morning. I spoke to you, and I actually called her, and I'm catching up with her for coffee on Friday. And I told her, I said, I was petrified to go to the gym, and I used that word today, that I was completely petrified to go to the gym, and see her. And she was super open, and basically said to me that she was really looking forward to catching up on Friday as well.
Yeah.
So the poem that I wrote today is called "What Is Love."
What is it?
Yeah. How do I? What is love? It's off. Who's
yeah, it's a Night at the Roxby. You got to do the head bobble.
The Mighty Ducks guy.
I fucking love that movie.
That's young Will Ferrell. Hey,
Yeah,
that's super
Chop,
young.
on your bed. Come on your bed. Get on your bed.
On your bed.
We're doing a podcast, mate. Get
it.
on your bed. On double bed. Whatever bed you want. Not this bed.
Wrong bed.
All right.
Okay, so what is love? I love you. I say, I love you again. So many times. If not you, then when? Saying I love you determines that you love someone, right? Or am I mistaking love for an anxious feeling inside? Learning how to love is a hard thing to do when your role models above didn't teach love to you. Surely, buying gifts is a form of love. Doing this over and over sends mixed messages above. I know how to love. It's doing everything for them. It's sacrificing self till death you do condemn. Patterns upon patterns in this repeated cycle of love. Not understanding that self there was lack thereof. Jarring parts online, scarred beyond the realm of life. A simple push down caused more trouble and strife. Speaking to the parts, allowing safety to reside. A new form of love slowly building inside. The thing with love is, no one really knows. The river runs free as it ebbs and it flows. Enjoy the beautiful feelings that love tends to provide. Don't you think of giving up. Hold on and enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny we were talking today and just talking about like love being scary. It fucking is. It is so scary, and it's the piece that cracks us open and challenges the internal world, the internal system, because love is frightening, and admitting that we're scared of love is such a hard thing to do, or that need or desire for love. It's hard to speak on a lot of the time.
I love love, but I also love that I write these questions for the podcast. And then for some reason we get to the question every time we start talking.
So I do absolutely no back end stuff for the podcast,
I do it all.
zero.
I do it
I
all.
just come with the flow. He comes with I'm a teacher.
The question, yeah. And so the question was, I said the first
So I've
question
already answered it?
is what is love? But the big one is, why is it so scary?
Because unknown. Like, that's what I'm coming to. Like, I had a mediation session yesterday with my partner and a close friend to just help us navigate through some stuff. And a big piece that came up for me was the fact that I keep going, I know. And a lot of the time, like, I don't, but it's that safety piece of me wanting to know.
Yeah.
And I believe that when love is in its full current, it's unknown. We don't know how to chart it. It's new. It's constantly new for us because we haven't been modeled love, and love is changing so much. Society's changing so much, and the way we show up and hold each other, and the way that we give love, receive love, are open to love, have any idea what love is completely shifting, you know?
Yeah.
So for us to, that's fucking scary because it's the most important thing in our life.
Yeah.
It's for me, it's what we always come back to. It's my home base. It's like love is the most important thing in my life everywhere.
Yeah.
So not knowing how to navigate that is scary.
Yep.
For sure.
Yep. Do you feel that?
Can you also, through this podcast, monitor my cutting you off and monitor my speed?
Okay.
Because something I noticed the other day was watching back through the scene work that we did at the retreat. I think I held that space really well, but I also found through watching some of the videos my ability to see the things that were happening and then potentially cut things off too early.
Yeah.
And so I want to slow down at times. I don't always want to do it because it's my energy, it's how I flow. But I also want to see if you can be aware of different things for me as well.
I definitely can. Can I say that welcome to the realm of teaching. And to be a teacher, I believe, and I can't speak for I love control because we always want to get our person. So when I see my students, I'm like, I want to get them to learn this thing. And so if you think of like the pinball machine, we guide the pinball to the place on the board.
Yeah.
And so the reason that I believe that you tend to cut me off, or you just cutting anyone off in those scenarios, is because you can sometimes you can see the path that we're going down.
Totally.
And so the advice that I give you, which I'm giving to myself, because this is something that I need to do this term, is let the person completely fuck up, because what they'll do is they'll probably get to the answer themselves anyway.
Totally.
And
there's also a responsibility of guiding as well. And I listened to so many of these things, and it was like we actually got to the places that we got. We evolved into a place that felt complete or moved through. I don't want to say we got somewhere that was designed to get somewhere. I wasn't intentionally doing that. There's probably an undercurrent of fucking following truth and aliveness. So my guidance is to find that. But how they get there and what they do, it's completely up to them. Even though at times I contoured the way that was. So I just want to just be aware. And I know you talked today about things that I say to you that jar you, and things that you don't necessarily speak. So I'm starting to open more doors for you to just express what's alive when it hits. Yeah,
definitely. That's I'm happy to share about that quickly too. So Jacob and my friendship, mentorship, brotherhood, all the things that I'm going to say brother, because that lands well for me.
I like that.
It's been a very different relationship for me, because I have there's a real safety piece for me in all my friends, and yes, that lands huge. I know I'm safe with you, but there's another part of me that's very alive when I'm around you, and it's the alive piece, and knowing that it's my ego. Because it's my lying part of my ego. It's not my truth ego. It's my shadow. It's the shadow part of my ego that you catch out. I'm going to say 9.99 recurring, which I that's why I'm here. That's why I'm here. I'm going to say as well that I just re-signed with Jacob. I want to celebrate that, because I'm really fucking excited about working for another 6 months with you, because that means that I get to do the podcast for at least another 6 months.
Podcast comes from friendship anyway.
I'm really excited to take that on, or that you've taken me on again, because I know that it hasn't finished. And when you asked me the other day, when I was sitting in your room, there was a lot of jar, but I didn't want to talk about it then, because I wanted to go away and think, and we speak a lot about that, about not just speaking like the thing that like straight then and there. It's about me. I actually went inside and went, I want to go and think about this. And then all that happened was that straight away, all this firstly, money shifted for me, which was the first catalyst that I spoke to. I said, I want to check my funds and get my funds in order. And I did that. And then straight away, I'm like, as soon as the money shifted and as soon as I've sold the house, the sale of the house is going through, I'm like, this is easily done. And we spoke about the payment plan, but but there's all these pieces. And what I want to lean into now is the fact that I think we touched on it maybe episode 2, but it's the initial. I want to come back to the voice, that first voice that comes in our head. It's the one that screams straight away when we're
I'm listening.
When we're in the heat of the argument, or let's talk from maybe a perspective our listeners might be thinking about when you're at work. It's a big one, and you're there's something that's alive for you at work, and you have the opportunity not to speak about it then and there, and you also have the opportunity that you speak about a lot of actually stopping and saying, hey, can I just have a moment? And so my question to you today again is to come back around to that, around the time for integration, but also time to sit in your emotions. So can you explain the importance of this time, that like when you have the thing that you're having to address, whether it's relationship, whether it's work, and I feel like it's always we think that we've got this finite amount of time to have to address a problem or a scenario, but what about the time or the space in between that where all the emotions are alive and everything is really prominent inside? Like for me today.
Yeah, what's the question?
Question is, how can people navigate? So if you can put your therapist or mentor head on now, if I came and sat down with you and I said, I've got all this that's going on at the moment, what strategies or what tools can you give someone that's in that space of overwhelm, or they don't know how to address the problem, or they don't know how to, they've got an issue going on with their partner, they don't know how to address that, but they've got all these emotions that they can't identify?
Yeah. Firstly, I would identify, the emotional reaction, like, so what attitude's coming out of you, whether it's defensiveness, shutdown, flight, trying to run away, seeing what sort of those things are present first, so that we can start to work with the reaction. Okay. Like for you today, your instant reaction was to run. Yeah. You know what I mean? So then we did a opposite to that, and we sat in with some journal processes to just drop through those layers. It really depends on the situation, because it's about like calming your nervous system first and foremost, and seeing what sort of reaction you are in. If it's middle of the argument, like there's so many different variables to this, but for me, it's like we talk about integration, time and process and stillness and all this sort of stuff. We've been talking about this for weeks, actually, about slowness. We keep talking about slowness, and it's like, that's fucking really easy to say. Yeah. And I say it to the men that I work with and you and circle. And then I'm like, I'm struggling to find time to have stillness, struggling to find time. No, I'm struggling to implement the strategies that are required for me to be able to tap into my internal self. It's having support network around you to be able to communicate the things that you're struggling with. Like first and foremost, that is fundamentally what men need, is a space to be able to say, I don't know. Yeah. I don't know how to deal with what I'm dealing with. Yeah. For me, implementing yin yoga, because we talk about integration and celebration and all those sort of things. But for me, I've been trying to find space or time to integrate or to sit with things that have been coming up for me. And I sit circle every week, and that's still really beautiful, and I'm still working through that. But then, like, doing yin yoga has just completely shifted my whole fucking life over the last 4 days.
You tell us about that.
Well, it's because there's I have a lot of capacity to hold energetics, love, stress, anxiety, partner, life, circle, everything. I have the capacity, but I'm also not honoring myself in the load that I'm carrying.
Yep.
And my body talks to me a lot, and I, at times, bypass it. I'm like, yeah, okay, I'll deal with that later. I was like, oh, I'm in pain today, or I breathe through that. Yeah, okay, cool. Feel the frustration there or something. But for me now, doing yin in the morning, the last, like Monday, Tuesday, I just cried.
Yeah.
Because my body just went, thank you for dropping in and saying hello. And it was like I didn't even have to make sense of the emotions. It was just giving my body the time to like decompress and stop and just open my heart and just let whatever wanted to flow. And for me, that's been huge, because I've been going through a lot, but I've got really good capacity and I've been okay. But really, my body's not. My heart hasn't been. And I've been bypassing a lot of my own stuff. Yeah. How do I simplify it?
I think you're doing a really good job. Can you talk more about your heart at the moment? Like when you say you're bypassing your heart, can you share like what's going on inside with your heart?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been bypassing my heart's needs and just using them as desires or expectations or I want outside of myself, and not honoring. This is just really uncomfortable to talk about, because it's what got mirrored back to me through the mediation yesterday was like, we have needs. And so when we have needs, they can come across needy if they're not fully expressed. And so they come across in sideways where like I'll put something out there and I won't get it back, and I'll want something. I'm like, I'm just not getting it, because I'm not actually asking. I'm not saying my heart needs this. My internal system needs and wants this. See, I'm already trying to say swap it to want. It's like, it's okay to have needs. It's okay for your heart to have needs that needs to be met for you to feel fulfilled in relationship, in life, in friendships. And yeah, we bypass it with saying, well, I don't need you. I'm good without you.
Yeah.
I'm secure. I don't need that. It's like, I want it, I desire it, but if it's not there, I'm safe, I'm good.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been doing that and wanting things to change or wanting certain things to come back to me, but I'm actually not being really specific with my needs. Yeah. And like, why is because it's vulnerable.
Yeah.
I feel needy. I don't want to feel needy, but it's okay to need something from people.
Yeah.
It's okay to need something from people. We don't have to keep saying we're fine. Because in the end, I am okay if I'm left. But it's not what I want. I want a deeper love, and I need a deeper love. It's partly why I'm on this planet, is to seek a deeper levels of love, whether that's from relationships or friendships. It feels like it's my journey. I feel like it's probably lots of people's journeys, but it's definitely mine, and my relating to love is ever expanding, and it's scary to say that I need something from someone.
That was really beautiful. When I was up in Proserpine on the weekend, my little nephew Harry was smashing his hands against the cupboard, saying that he wanted something to eat. And what just dropped in for me is that he knew what he wanted. He knew the need that he had. He wanted the Oreo cookies, right? But he knew that I think he was quite scared because he'd already been told that he wasn't allowed to have any Oreo cookies. And so he chucked this huge tantrum around banging on the cupboard and saying, I'm so hungry. I'm so hungry.
Yeah.
But what he really wanted was the Oreo cookies.
Yeah. And that's a need for a child.
Yeah. And that's what I'm coming to.
It's a great analogy, yeah.
It's like as adults, we sit there with our partner and there's something that we really want and we really want to say it to them. It's like when I find it really difficult to post in the men's group because I think that my stuff's silly.
Mm. Yeah.
Like I feel like Danny said it the other week that he had to post for a week. And he said he felt, that it was really hard because you had to be seen.
Mm.
And that when we need something like little Harry, he just wanted his Oreos, right? And I know this sound like in the analogy at the end of the day, it's always simple, right? It's the simplest analogies that get us to where we need to get to. But that's the hardest bit. I think that for me, the hardest bit is the bit of going, oh, that's just silly. And we've been speaking about this stoicism and this stoicism piece around men having so much capacity and having to hold the capacity always for the woman. And it's really difficult to be a man. Mm. I know it's difficult to be a woman, but it's really difficult to be a man, and this is my belief, to sometimes to communicate these needs that are the deepest parts of our vulnerability.
Yeah, because I feel like we're shifting right now, and the pendulum has swung from men not having capacity for women, so then men being like, oh, masculine and feminine polarity, I've got to be this so that she can surrender, so I've got to hold all the ocean and the motion and the tornado of a woman's expression, and I've just got to stay in that, and I've got to be there, and I've got to keep being unwavering, even though I'm dying on the inside, because I'm holding it, but I don't know how to express, and I don't know how to do the thing, and I don't know how to be soft. I don't know how to actually break down. It's because society, and now again and it's beautiful. Like, we've got to go from one side to the other. And this is why my work is coming back to sensitivity and softness and sensuality and slowness, because for us to hold frantic intensity, we've got to be slow and calm and realize that, and then drop into hey, this is a lot for me today. I can't do this anymore today. Can we just have some space for both of us to come back to 0 point, to come back to flow and ease and care. And it's okay. It's okay that's holding capacity. Yeah, it is. That's actually holding capacity, is knowing your capacity as well, and bringing hey, I can't keep holding today. And it's not our job. We're equally in this to both hold our own shit and then meet in the middle. Whether it's clunky or messy, or it's fucking beautiful and graceful, either way, we've got to own our own bypassing, where we're not honoring our truth. And the thing for me right now is some of that's hard to identify. So with mediation yesterday, and what I learned was there's things that I'm not seeing, and we can't see them until someone says something. You're like, no. Yeah. Oh, I was defensive there. Okay. Yeah, there's some truth in that. Oh, yeah, there it is. Fuck.
Sometimes you need the prod. When you said to me this morning, your message, can you do the why questions? I'm like, fuck, stupid why questions. They don't even work.
three answers later, you're like, oh,
yeah.
I don't know what love is.
Because it's but I did the safe thing. I did the journal. The journal was safe. That was easy. It made me feel a little bit better, but it didn't address.
Yeah, so if we're working for I just want to come back to circle back to your question before about what can men do.
Yeah.
And it's I don't need to go straight to, hey, cool Tara.
Yeah.
We only need to implement the tiny little thing for you to tick that off and be oh, that doesn't feel like it's actually the thing now. So, but 3 months ago, that might have been that was your safety space to be that's actually all I can do.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I've identified some stuff. I'm just going to sit with that for a bit.
Yeah.
But now with all the work that you've done and how you're showing up is like, oh, I did that. Oh, hang on. Oh, hang on.
Yeah.
Oh, there's more there. Oh, I actually want to speak to her.
Yeah.
Oh, I actually want to address that. Oh, I feel safe to do that.
Yep.
Wow, cool. You know, so it's like a journal practice turns into this other development that you've now identified that you just want to meet things instead of doing the safe things. Or what were edgy before. Like doing the why before would have been like, oh, this is scary.
Yeah.
And you let the feelings and emotions affect you today in a beautiful way. But that in itself is frightening for a lot of men.
Yeah.
So like the journal prompt is a big like, nah, fuck that.
Yeah.
Because that might bring up shit.
Yeah.
You know, so just identifying how far you've come as well. But then honoring the fact that you then identified without any assistance from me, like, hang on.
Yeah.
There's another truth here. There's another piece that's still sitting within my body that's like, yeah, this got me to a point, but I still feel unsatisfied with where I'm at.
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, I asked you the question.
I'm getting nervous. I don't know who I am.
You haven't even let me ask the question yet.
He says that like he hasn't asked me a question before.
Well,
so like a couple of weeks ago, I asked you a question.
Yeah. Well, do you remember when we were talking about your favorite? I think it was episode 2. We were talking about your favorite sex position. Do you remember that?
No,
I'm joking. I did ask you. It dropped in. It dropped in for me when.
That's my favorite to receive, not give. Yep, we're back.
I'm hot. I'm hot.
You're hot?
Yeah.
The tea. The anxiety.
The vulnerability.
We've just finished our anxiety cup. Now we're onto the vulnerability cup. Yeah. I don't know what the question is, no.
No. So I asked you the question, who are you?
That was the fuck. I knew that was the question. That's why I said I'm sweating.
So my question for you today is, who are you in love?
Who am I in love? Who am I in love?
Yeah.
I don't know what, like, who am I in love is coming as like this explorer.
Yeah.
I feel like out in the wilderness of like picking up rocks and like pushing through the dirt and different textures and different feelings and different temperatures and yeah, wanting to. Job's just having some water. I felt like that was going to be a really good moment for the podcast. And old mate's like, yeah, I'm just going to drink 8 liters of water just over here. Oi.
We just got a porn setting in the background.
Porn setting. I've got sounds on here. I could press some sounds. Ooga. Chop.
Chop. That's enough. Thank you.
That's on your bed, bro. Come on.
On your bed.
My dog's 15. He loves you guys. Thanks for listening. On your bed. On your bed. Go on. Yeah, I can cut to this. I'll cut those bits. Yeah, I feel like I'm an explorer of love. I'm out in the unknown, and I'm really diving into the different elements of love: the body, spirit, mind, soul, heart, the earth, the groundedness, everything that is just so there, so present, but so unknown at the same time. Like the elements of love and the structure of everything that's connected. It's been, I feel like I'm a huge explorer of love, and I haven't, and I won't, and I don't want to define it.
Yep.
I want to just keep exploring it and it getting deeper and more surprising and more loving and more, just, I want it to engulf me to a point where I'm like, I'm so fucking lost in love. I don't know which way to go, but each way just opens up different beauties and wonders. And I want to use my imagination to just flow through what the possibilities of love are in this trip around Earth for me. Yeah, I feel like a wild explorer of the unknown of love. Did you like that answer?
I loved the answer. What I was thinking while you were speaking was, what's changed for you, Jacob? Like my what I said to you was today that when the release happened for me, it was the realization that I don't actually know what love is to me anymore. And like, I know elements.
Yeah.
I know that there's a feeling attached to it. What's changed for you, like from what you used to believe love is to now?
Yeah. And so the beautiful thing about this is that you dropped into fear because you don't know what love is. And fundamentally, either do I. You know, like, this is the thing. But I've come to terms with, I don't fucking know.
Yeah.
You've just come to terms with, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Me, I'm like, oh, yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I love how you said that too.
Yeah.
Because that was exactly it. I was like, today, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
Like, everything that I've done was so beautiful because that's all I knew.
Yeah.
But I don't want to do it like that anymore.
And so it's going to be scary as fuck.
Yeah.
Because you're going to push back a lot, because it's going to be like, that's not love. That's not love.
And you know what's just dropped in for me? The reason that I'm meeting Tara on Friday is because I want to talk about this. I want to talk about this with someone that I've been intimate with and someone that I've shared an experience with, because I'm in a space now where I'm really open to learn. Like, I want to have the opportunity to learn about me, about like the big piece for me lately has been loving, that we've been working on, is loving myself.
Yeah.
Because that was such a big piece for so long. Loving my father, which was a huge piece. Loving my inner child, but I think now it is it's the exploration that you just talked about before. It's the ability to be able to get out and put my trail shoes on, put my water bottles in, and my snacks, and hocker hay to this new experience in life. So
yeah. It's fucking scary. It's so scary. Like, it's so scary. Like, it's a struggle. I just got emotional internal for a minute over there. I don't really know why. Yeah. I feel like I'm grieving. Yeah, I feel like maybe I'm grieving the last parts of what I thought I knew love was. Because the reason that's hard is because if I let go of that, then there's no reference point. There's nothing to fight for, like what I'm fighting against. Do you know what I mean? So that feels scary, because it's like, if I let go of that, I don't know. I really don't know. You know, I'm at times in my relationship fighting for the love that I knew. Oh, yeah. That's why I keep saying I know. Yeah, it's hard to let go of that. It's hard to let go of that reference point. It's hard to let go of that comparison, because it means that I have to stop fighting and just, be in love. Yeah, and that terrifies the fuck out of me. Yeah, we come back to the stars. Like, love just isn't intimate relating, but it's intimate relating that brings us the thing that we need to look at and see and observe to open up our avenues to loving. Because it's like, it just brings in the trauma or the a dissonance in how we used to do it. Is that the right word? Dissonance?
I think so.
Yeah.
Mine is the safety of what I knew.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so like I'm just all I heard from you was just then that I felt like I was speaking. I feel like that you just said everything that's a complete mirror of how I'm feeling.
Because we're always a complete mirror of each other.
Yeah.
And I just went through that myself. Like now.
Yeah.
This wasn't thought of yesterday.
No,
like right now.
It was right now. It's like everything came back. So it's Tara, it's Steph, it's Chelsea, it's Stacey, it's every one of these. And if any of you are listening, thank you, thank you all of you, because I now know that was all beautiful, but that's none of them are it, and that and I'm actually I'm okay. I'm actually okay with that. I'm fucking petrified as far as the new evolution and the new stage that I'm going to take on. But all that I know of love is these pictures, these pictures, the photographs that come into your head. So it's like, we've spoken about, I think it was episode 4 about moments, and I said, is there a feeling attached to all these moments? And we spoke about our feelings in the moments, and then we also spoke about, do we have these things in the future that we're building up? And like you said, that anxiety is a load of bullshit, but the reference point for love is a feeling, and then the feeling is attached to these pictures that are really, like, they're bold, they're highlighted pictures, because there's 2 of them.
This must mean.
There's the I'm getting that feeling again because I'm coming back to this reference photo in my head that's attached to this feeling.
Yeah, and man, I forget how much I've gone through, because like even with Shani, that was last year, and oh my God, so much has changed in such a short period of time. But what I realized with her is, if it wasn't like formulated through like jealousy and anxiety, it didn't feel like love. So I was like, if this isn't like freaking me out, if I'm not freaking out about her, I mustn't love her.
Yeah.
So if she's not making me jealous, or I'm not like anxiety ridden over her talking to a guy over there, I don't really care about this person. It's like, fuck, that's so off.
Yeah.
And it took me a while to, like, she helped me heal so much stuff in regards to, receiving love in a completely different way. And I was like, this is foreign. This isn't safe, because it's unsafe when we don't know.
Yeah.
And then when I realized that, it's just, I've been operating from a system that is completely fucking warped. And I still don't know the full, the explorer will continue to explore. But yeah, like letting go of these old societal programs and our own conditioning to like what love is. It's like Valentine's Day this is what love is. This is how we do it. We give this. We show that we love. Like, it's not.
Letting go of societal norms to show what love is. I really love that. Like that, the piece around just feeling just that slowness of letting go of things that, and this has come back to our talk about expectations around like what is it that we're actually expecting what are we expecting from love? What are we expecting to get, or like are we chasing the feeling?
Well, this is the fucking conundrum. This is the hard bit, and this is the bit that we will journey with until the day we die, if we're open to opening our heart further, more and more and more. Is, for me, it's am I bypassing my heart? Am I bypassing the things, or am I not open to a certain way of receiving love, or am I learning how to love in this way? And it's like, that can be quite challenging, because it's like, I don't know. Like, does that make sense? Do I need to be clearer in regards?
Yeah.
So, yeah, the formula that I'm used to receiving love in, I could understand, and I could move through it and be like, this means that.
Yep.
So now, because it's so unknown, it's like, am I opening up myself to a space that I'm actually not desiring?
Yeah, I gotcha.
Or am I closing myself to a place that I could be opening, because it doesn't feel right? But is it only not feel right because I haven't given myself the time to explore it? Or it's like I know I don't actually like this. And this can become really hard to work through, because it's like at times I will be bypassing my actual desires and my wants through exploration.
Yep.
But it's like, it's inevitable. It has to happen for you to determine things. But it's like, you've got to be willing to go with the ups and downs and the flows, and like, oh yeah, and you keep maybe bypassing for a little bit to be like, oh, okay, this isn't how I want to do this. So yeah, I feel the challenge there in that, and I feel the stress. The stress in that.
For when I view you, I view you as someone that understands these channels a lot more. For someone that is listening now, I would say that from someone who's starting the journey of learning about this, mine comes down to my body's programming.
Yeah,
that
everyone's
of course. And so with our programming, for me, it was safety. And so when anything felt a little bit uncomfortable, which is the new, my body's programming, like Harry going for the Oreos, I wouldn't speak the thing that I wanted anyway. And so I just allow my programming to take over.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, great book if you want to read it, The Body Keeps the Score. A lot of this programming, like today, unless I delved with a mentor or with someone that could guide me deeper, I'm not actually able to be as finite as you to navigate. And like, I know that that's not just speaking, you going like, oh, well, I understand all this, because I totally understand that you don't either. But for I guess for someone, or for people that are sitting there and listening, sometimes the feeling that you have inside, which is what I've learned, may not even be to do with your relationship that you're having or the issue that you're having with your partner. It might be something that completely different.
It's not 90% of the time.
That's coming up for you. So what I'd love to suggest is that if you get that feeling, speak to the feeling straight away to your partner. Say something.
I was just like, if you get that feeling, that's sexual feeling. Sexual.
So yeah, that's super fucking serious. So, and then, I don't know, maybe you can talk to it and make it a little bit more funny.
Yeah.
As well, because this is the other part.
Well, so this is the kink. This is existential kink. And they're like, so something, our mediator and Alpha talk to us is like, so I'll just speak from mine, because I don't want to speak on mine's behalf, is like the thing that was my trigger, or my defensiveness, or my agitation, or my spikiness, is like, I like that. I like that part. She's like, be okay in the pleasure of you like being spicy.
Yeah.
Instead of being like, oh, I'm fucking over being like that.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, I like being spicy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. And play that out. So this is existential kink. It's bringing the unconscious conscious. It's bringing the things that are stored inside. And the more that we play them and run them and bring them out, I don't talk about this stuff because it feels like, oh, this is just common knowledge.
No, I'm learning a lot
it's
now
not
too.
For a lot of people. And I need to reference the things that I do know. But it's like, the more, just mapping it to men, it's like sexual desires. We hold so much stuff in because we're not willing to speak about it. But then the more we speak about it, the more okay we come with it. And so existential kinks is that stuff playing out in your subconscious that come out in your reality, i.e. so my defensiveness and my spikiness. Part of me loves being like that. That's why I create this reality for myself, so I can be, but the more that I'm like, oh, okay, I see you there. I see you wanting to be spicy. I'm loving you in that. I'm loving you in that.
Yeah.
It just starts to dissipate.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see that you want to protect me today.
Yeah.
I feel that, and I can see how you're wanting to show up in this relationship and take care of me.
Mm.
And the more, it's the same with every inner part that we talk about.
That was remember the anxiety. Well, we started off originally with the anxiety one for me, and then we labelled it Karen on, blah, blah, blah. And then within 2 weeks, Karen was gone, and I didn't have, I would no longer label myself with anxiety. I love that bit that you've just touched on, the spicy bit. I think a lot of part of that comes from, I think, that CBT, from cognitive behavioural therapy, where they speak about heaps of that sort of stuff. Just around making it.
Connecting to those parts. Those parts want to be loved. They don't want to be shamed. I did the post today about you can't shame yourself into change.
Yeah.
And it was live yesterday in the mediation, because I just come to this place of softness, and then something got sparked, and I was like, I said something really vulnerable, and then I went, oh, but you don't. And Alpha caught me, and I was like, oh, fuck's sake. Why did I just do? And then I was like, oh, love that. And I know this, I tell people this all the time, but it's that's the piece of me that just needs to be loved right now. Spicy, Jake. Spicy. Penetrative. I love you.
Got to penetrate.
I love you. Fuck you.
Where's Riley?
Yeah. So it's just, it's that, the subconscious things that just want to come out and want to be loved. This is my work, is bringing those pieces out. This is what we've been working through in relationship, is, my pieces that have been hiding and coming out in certain ways, and me loving my parts, loving my parts. But we've just, opened the door to a deeper loving of these parts, and deeper vulnerability of me speaking, I'm actually just afraid, or I'm scared, or I'm this. And it's that feels so much nicer. I feel so much nicer actually today. No, not today. Now.
Yeah.
Yeah, about... I was feeling really clunky today and really off. And
me too.
Yeah, it's a challenge, relationships. We had a really beautiful day yesterday, and I'm struggling today. Really struggling with the patterns that I became aware of, and my resentment of them, and my not wanting to play, not wanting to. No, I don't want to be the man that's got those things playing, And I was I found myself being frustrated in the identification of those things to me.
Yeah.
And I'm only realizing that now. And so then I externalize my frustration without actually talking about it, but trying to put it onto my partner. Even though I haven't seen her today, but I'm whatever, this is just making me feel. And I was it's hard to, and I see the fear of our relationship with you sometimes, of me seeing those parts and calling them forward, because it's challenging. Yeah. It's really challenging to be oh, okay. Yeah, I'm hearing you, fuck. And then still my body wants to fight. So then my mind takes over and blames other people. But I catch it. The beauty of that now is that I'm aware of that, and I'm openly talking about it right now, because it's that was a challenge for me today, and I'm really glad that we've talked through this today, because it gives me a deeper awareness tonight when my lover comes over, and a softening that I can, and I may firm up again. I may get spicy.
But that's totally okay.
But if I keep opening to my spice, as I know that it's just a place of security, we can come to deeper love.
I love that. On that note, stay spicy.
Stay spicy, California.
And come back to love. I feel really good in that today.
Yeah. It's been a good potty.
It's been a really good podcast.
This almost reminds me of the one that we fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the flow and
Yeah. I do. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thank you.
Peace out, listeners. Love you guys. And
Love you all.
we will launch